What are some of the most common myths about abs that we've all believed at one point or another? Stick around because I'm going to share that with you, and we're starting right now. Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Thomas from RohmerFitness, and when it comes to the abs, right, there are so many truths surrounding them, but there's also a lot of myths surrounding them, you know? And I think at one point or another, we've all sort of bought into at least one of these myths or multiple of them. I know for myself personally, I have definitely been guilty of believing all 5 of these myths at one point in my life. So let's go ahead and jump right into it with the first myth, which is that doing sit-ups, crunches, or any other ab exercise for that matter will actually get you abs. Now, this is probably one of the biggest things that beginners fall for, is that they think if they just do ab exercises, they will get abs. They will get that visible six-pack. And it's simple, it's easy to see why that is. I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? If you want abs, you do ab exercises, right? Like just like if you want to develop your chest, you do chest exercises. However, with the abs, it's a little bit different because you do have a body fat that is covering the abs in the first place. So if you want to get visible abs, you must first get rid of that body fat to reveal your abs. And that is going to be how you first and foremost get visible abs in the first place. Now that kind of ties in with my second myth, which is the fact that abs are made in the kitchen. So this is another one of the most common things you'll hear people say is abs are made in the kitchen. So what that really is saying is that all you need to worry about to get a good six-pack is just get lean enough. All you need to do is lean down. And that's true, okay? If you're gonna try to get a visible six-pack, you have to have a lean enough body fat percentage. You have to be lean enough for your abs to be visible in the first place. However, that does not mean it's the only thing you need to be doing to have the best six-pack you possibly can. Because if you have an underdeveloped rectus abdominis, which is the ab muscle that's visible when you get down to a low body fat percentage, if that is underdeveloped, then it's not going to look that great. It's just going to look flat and weak. You need to do ab exercises to develop the rectus abdominal muscles, the transverse abdominal muscles, and so on and so forth in order to get the best six-pack you possibly can. So there are 2 main functions of the abs, stabilization and flexion. So my favorite stabilization exercises are going to be things like planks, side planks, and ab wheel rollouts. And my favorite flexion exercises are going to be things like hanging leg raises done on a captain's chair, or knee ups. Things like that are going to work the abs in both of their main functions, and that will really help you to develop your six-pack once you are lean enough. Now, the third myth that people commonly believe about abs is that you have to reach a certain body fat percentage to have visible abs. So somebody might think, for example, oh, you have to be 8% body fat to have visible abs, regardless of who you are, or you have to have 10% body fat to have visible abs. And that's certainly not true. I mean, I've seen guys with 12% body fat who have visible abs. Some guys have to get down to 10%. Other guys have to get down to 8%. We're all different, and it takes different people to get to different levels of body fat percentage in order to have visible abs. Now, the reason for this is because we tend to store body fat differently. There are 2 types of body fat. Visceral fat, which is the deeper fat that is kind of surrounded in the organs. So it's actually the unhealthy type of fat. It can actually be unhealthy. And then there's also the subcutaneous fat, which is the fat right below the skin. So it's the skin you can sort of pinch on your body. It's the fat that's covering up the ab muscles that you want to get rid of because you can kind of see it there. And if you tend to store body fat more visceral fat rather than subcutaneous, that could be one of the reasons why your body fat percentage might technically be higher, but you still have visible abs because you're carrying less of the subcutaneous fat. So everybody stores fat differently, and there's no particular body fat percentage that you specifically have to be at for you to have a visible six-pack. You just have to get lean enough, and then until you have a six-pack, and whatever body fat percentage you're at, that's how lean you needed to get. Now, my fourth common myth about abs is that getting a six-pack will dramatically change your life. And I know for me personally, when I was in high school, I was a very shy, very pretty socially awkward kid. I just kind of kept to myself a lot. And I was just kind of thinking, man, if I could just really get a six-pack, get some nice abs going, my social life throughout high school and college will just kind of take care of itself. And, I definitely know now that that is not the case. I mean, for example, if you're a single guy, developing a great six-pack or a great body or whatever is not going to just all of a sudden have all the women just swooning over you. You're still going to have to go and talk to women and ask them out or whatever the case is. It's not like people are just magically going to come to you and be like, oh, wow, you're so awesome. It's not going to be like that. You're still going to have to develop the social skills if you want to make more friends or, get better with women or whatever it is you're trying to actually do. And then my fifth and final myth regarding abs is that they are the most important muscle group. So I know for me, when I first started my fitness journey, all I really cared about was getting a six-pack abs. Like, forget about all the other muscle groups. All that really matters is having a six-pack. And that, of course, couldn't be farther from the truth. You have to have broad shoulders. You have to have the wide back, all leading down to a narrow waist. You have to have this perfect, developed, muscular body. You need to have proportion all the way around. You have to have the right amount of muscle in the right places. Simply just having a six-pack, but not having any of the other muscles in your body developed is not going to be a good overall look. So I wouldn't even necessarily say having visible abs is the most important thing. I would actually say, focusing on developing that V shape, that V taper look is the most important thing you should be focusing on when developing a male physique. But ultimately, you want to have a well-balanced, proportioned body and not just focus on only being lean and totally totally disregarding building muscle because it is very important. So that is going to be it for today's video. If you want to learn how to lean down to get a six-pack in the easiest way possible, check out these books right behind me here. I'm going to put links to them in the description box down below. If you like the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, while you're at it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with my latest tips and videos. And other than that, I will be talking to you guys next time. Peace.